you, do you think Brock Purdy is a top 5 quarterback? We've seen him for over a full season of games now. Um, he's had up and down games. He's performed historically well for the 49ers, breaking records. Now, I will say with the passing record, I don't know. Do you feel this way? I feel like the fact that Jeff Garcia had broken Steve Young's passing yards record kind of not cheapens it, but it shows that like there is also a progression of time, and this is more of a passing league than it was. So it's not necessarily saying that Brock Purdy is like better at, or more efficient at passing than Steve Young was. That's not what the award means, but it is like Kyle Shanahan gave him a game ball. Like it's not like we're the Texans and that's like a meaningless record. Like this is a really storied franchise with amazing quarterbacks who have performed, miracles, been superheroes to teams. I know that the reason I'm a fan of the 49ers is because to my dad, these people were, guys who could walk on water. So it is an accomplishment. Now, when we're talking about who the 49ers are going to play in the playoffs, if they are going to have that ability to win in the Super Bowl, obviously it's a team sport, but having a quarterback that you feel confident in is really important. How is your confidence in Brock Purdy? How do you feel like he ranks up to other quarterbacks in the NFC and then also in the NFL as a whole so far, early on in his career?
Yeah, so okay, asking like if Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback feels like asking is Brock Purdy elite, which I'm not putting him in that conversation yet. Statistically, this year in 2023, this season, Brock Purdy has performed like a top 5 quarterback. Yes, it's a loaded question, right? Like, because
how do you interpret it? Is it numbers?
For one, it's very subjective. Like everyone has a different opinion on the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, but there's a lot of names that will overlap, right? The Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allen, the Lamar Jackson, right? Like you'll see a bunch of those names. We've already named 3.
Can we name 5 that we both can agree on that are better than Purdy? We both can agree Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Can we both agree Josh Allen?
Yes.
Can we both see this goes to the hard thing because Joe Burrow this season we'd say no, but I think Joe Burrow would be in that.
Yeah. Yep. I would put in there too.
I mean, they literally played, not that they played head to head, but we played the Bengals before Joe Burrow went down, and Joe Burrow quarterbacks that looked elite. That was like his best game of the year. Joe Burrow's game against the 49ers. Like, he's
How dare he?
So mobile.
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. I would say Matthew Stafford.
Okay,
so
see,
that's
and now
that's 5.
and
there might be more. There might be some more, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just not thinking of those guys like Herbert. Like we didn't mention Herbert. Talent-wise, I think Herbert is like up there. CJ Stroud. But like, okay, here's my thing. The way that I define elite is not something that you just earn with one season. Like you have to kind of prove that you're elite in this league, right? And I think it takes more than
Dak Prescott had an elite season, right? Like he's right now. I think I would put Dak
season an elite season. Yeah,
he's probably he's in that second tier. Like he's really good, but he's not like Patrick Mahomes. But he had a season where, like, if you were only grading him off that season, he would have been in the Patrick Mahomes tier. So that's kind of what you're saying, where you're like, you need more evidence and more time to like actually solidify your real ranking.
Yeah, and Randy's asking statistically. Yes, I think like we're talking about like this season. Yeah, I think Brock Purdy's been top 5 statistically, but we're not putting him as like a top 5 quarterback in the league.
The issue with statistics too is like Jimmy Garoppolo was like a top 10 quarterback on the 49ers. And
not in like every category. Like there's still some like categories you can like,
there we go. And I think everyone can agree that see, Josh Allen has 10. He has interceptions, but he's also like carrying the team. I feel like most people can agree that if Josh Allen was on the 49ers, that they would, the way that they win the game might look different, but I think that they would be equally as successful. Like they would I don't think that Josh Allen would be a downgrade in any way, Randy, even though he does have a higher turnover percentage than Brock Purdy right now.
Yeah, I mean, and also, yeah, I mean, this season he struggled with interceptions, and there's some that were pretty egregious for Allen early in the year. But yeah, he's kind of prone to that. But at the same time, like I think you see, he's also a top 5 quarterback. Like you could see that, right? Like Brett Favre, like threw a bunch of interceptions too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Like just because you throw intercept, like their play style is so different that it feels almost incomparable. But I think that majority of fans can agree that for right now, based on longevity in the league and how they've been able to play and the teams that they've played on with the talent and coaching that they've had, that Josh Allen would be a better quarterback. And that doesn't mean that Brock Purdy, like if he kept up this level of play forever, like he'd be, probably elite. So we're not set. We're kind of trying to fit his place. I think easily you could say he's top, 12, top 15 right now. But there's a lot of, you're projecting into the future with certain guys, like when you were talking about CJ Stroud,
mhm.
and you're kind of basing some people off the past. Like if you're going to talk about Matthew Stafford, although he is playing really well right now, but Aaron Rodgers would be a guy that, like, if the 49ers, see, they wouldn't right now because he's literally injured this very second. But like next season, if for one season all NFL rules changed, bets were off, and the Jets and 49ers could switch, would the 49ers rather have Aaron Rodgers coming off an ACL, but like able to play? Like as long as he's able to play, but coming off an ACL at his old age, would they rather have Aaron Rodgers next season or would they rather have Brock Purdy? That's such an interesting question, don't you kind of think?
Yeah, but I think they'd rather have Brock for the sake of like the pay difference. Like that's literally that
Yeah,
makes the decision so
everything's
easy.
the same.
Okay.
Or is that's kind of that, I don't even know. Maybe that's like not a fair experiment.
But even then, yeah, I mean, but even then, like you're thinking about the youth of Purdy. Like
Yeah.
he's still improving, so
But what if after 1 year it switches back? It's just like a 1 year. The NFL is, it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's a parallel universe, type of thing. I
I
didn't
mean, it'd
even
be
watch that,
nice.
but I feel like it's a good callback.
I'm not a big fan of Aaron Rodgers, so this is like
I
I
love
would
that.
be so annoying. I'd be so annoyed if he
I
was
don't know
on
if I
the
give a single
49ers.
person, but I
But
do think that Kyle. I think they would, whether or not they would do it. I think they would think about it for a second. But you're right.
yeah,
He is like a little bit of a diva, and you kind of have to start then thinking about personnel and the way that this team is kind of like all of their skill positions. Everyone is so selfless with the ball, with everything. And then you think Aaron Rodgers might come in and kind of like disrupt the like flow and like the Brock Purdy is, from an emotional leader space, really like. Did you see that clip of him and Trent where they look so happy and Trent like? I feel like Trent, like, these older players that do, maybe they also see this as their opportunity to win a Super Bowl. I feel like they seem very happy and like they can see it right there too.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. It's a big
yeah.
year for Trent.
But there was some other things that we'll get to a different week because we're headed up on an hour. It was really good to chat with you, Steph. I'm glad that we were able to make it work today. Thank you everyone for joining in the comments. There was a starred comment. Did we let me see. All right, Steph, official playoff pick,
Oh no.
NFC wild card, and onward. Go. Pick.
Michael is asking me to pick who's gonna win the games. I was trying to find a bracket, like a literal bracket, but they don't have that. Because I'm trying to think of the first round. So the first round would be Cowboys and maybe Packers, the way that it stands right now.
Oh,
And
that's so
so
interesting. I would love
I
the
would.
Packers to win that game.
I know. I mean, they could, but they're pretty inconsistent. But They could.
Yeah, they're so younger. They feel like a team that's gonna get better. You know what I mean?
And Dallas would be at home. So I think I'd give that one to Dallas, but it would be a really close one. And then Lions and Rams. I think I'm gonna go Rams, and then Eagles and Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucks for that one.
That's crazy.
I go
I
Bucks.
really like all these
Thanks,
games coming up.
Michael. I didn't even realize he was putting it in the chat. You're awesome. I was just staring at the playoff picture graphic on that website, but lock it in. Yeah, that's those are my picks. I'll lock it in. There you go.
I want to do Packers. I want the Packers to win. I don't think they will. I think if it was like a gambling, like if you were going to bet actual money on it, you should do Cowboys. But I would love, this is not what I think would happen, but in my what I would like to happen scenario, I would like the Packers to win against the Cowboys, the Lions to beat the Rams, just because, like I said, I'm for some reason pulling for the Lions. There's like this, I still see them as like a, this sounds bad, like a pathetic little team. Like I'm like, oh, they made it. This is so cute.
You like pity
Like,
them?
we should give them a win just
Yeah, you
because
like pity
it
them.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So I think that they should win. And then I agree with you. I like the Bucks beating the Eagles. If the Eagles
Bucks
lose in
playing
the
good.
first round, are they gonna fire Nick Sirianni?
I don't know. Things would get really interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's crazy how like turned around they were. You know, people are in the comments. The way Philly's playing, the Bucks can pull it off. Eagles are frauds. For Nick Bosa came out and he was like, "We put the blueprint out," and everyone was like, "Yep, you did. We're gonna copy it." But yeah. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining in the chat. I hope you guys all have a great Tuesday. Usually it's Monday, but yesterday there wasn't any Monday Night Football. It's all changing so fast.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the playoffs, but I'm not. I like all the football throughout the week. Come back. Did you watch the college? There was college football. I didn't watch it,
No,
but I know Jim
I
Harbaugh
didn't.
won, which was
I did
good.
not.
Go Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I like that the
Harbaugh.
49ers fan base like still really roots for him. It's kind of cute.
Right.